Okay, so let me ask you something. When you're watching your favorite movie and the story starts to get messy as they do, like things are going all over the place, the protagonist is making questionable decisions, and everything is just chaotic and a bit too much. So at that point, do you just switch it off, or do you keep watching it because you know that it is actually happening all for the plot? Because honestly, those twists, turns, that confusion is exactly what pulls you in even more and makes you want to sit and stay invested instead of just walking away. Now, it's kind of funny if you think about it, right? Because why is it that we can trust a movie to figure itself out, but when it comes to our own life, we just give things up midway, thinking that it's just not happening, or things are going all over the place, or things are not happening my way. And so now the real question is, how do some people walk around with this unshakable self confidence almost at an irritating level, right? Like, how, from where does this self belief even come from? Are they just born with it? Or is there something that most of us don't know? Or is there like a secret recipe or something? So, since I cannot speak on the behalf of other people, I'll just tell you about myself, right? And how my journey has been with self belief or self love, whatever you want to call it. Sooner or later, there comes a point in your life wherein you need somebody so badly that it hurts physically, where you're hoping, praying, and begging for somebody to stay, just to get you, to understand you, just to be there for you. But then it turns out there is nobody. Nobody shows up, nobody saves you, nobody even sees you. And in that moment, you realize something which is both terrifying and freeing at the same time. If you think that somebody is coming to save you, they're not. You are the only person that you can count on. Nobody is going to be your savior. However, there is still one person who will always and always come to your rescue and who will always be there for you. And you know who that is. And the thing is, you meet this person every day. You see this person every day. You eat with this person, you learn with this person, you smile with this person, you cry with this person. You have this person like your shadow. And you know who that is? It is you, yourself. And you are the only person you can count on for the rest of your life at all times. And I remember there was a time in my life when I genuinely felt like I was not going to make it through. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, because I truly felt like I would not make it out of that phase. But I did. I did. And the only reason I did make it out because I picked myself and I chose myself. Deliberately and intentionally, I chose myself. And I literally chose to love myself through it all and became the person that I am today. Because during that time, I could not even recognize myself anymore, like what I had become. Exactly as somebody I wouldn't want to be around anymore if you ask me today. And that is exactly when it hit me that the only person who is never going to leave me is myself. Because let me tell you one thing, people can be ruthless, people can break you, people can tear you apart, people can crush you beneath their feet and still act like nothing ever happened, it meant nothing, and then you're just left there trying to make sense out of something that was never meant to make sense in the first place. And mark my words when I say this, that people will play you as much as you will allow them. I will say this again. People will play you as much as you will allow them to, because human beings love to test limits. You also love to test limits. I also love to test limits because it's in our human nature. We love to push boundaries. And the thing is, the moment you become too adjusting or too forgiving, too available, then people think that they can get away with anything. And that is exactly when you need to remind them that no, you cannot. You cannot get to walk all over me and act like nothing happened. Because now, when I think about it, at this stage of my life, I might not have forgiven everyone who put me through shit. And maybe I do not even need to. Maybe I will when I am more mature. But one thing I know for sure is that I will never, ever, ever let anybody treat me like I do not matter enough or like I am an option. And at the same time, I realized that the best revenge is not proving anything to anyone. The best revenge is to become a version of yourself that they tried to destroy, the version of you that they can never have the access to. And you do all of that not for their validation or for somebody else's validation, not for any sort of distraction, but you do it for yourself. Because if you are indulging into self development or becoming the best version of yourself, you have to do it for yourself, not just to escape pain. Because if you do that, then what will happen is you will fall back into the same patterns. You want to be a better version of yourself, then you have to do it for yourself. There was a time when I would literally cry over things which she couldn't fully understand. And now, when I look back at her today, I cannot even relate to her anymore because I now choose to use everything that I went through in my favor instead of letting it define me. And one major thing that I had to do was that I had to stop telling myself that I am some sort of a victim or things are not working out in my favor or things always go this way, and then start cribbing. And rather, I started seeing it as something that was happening for me. And then, even though I could not see the bigger picture, so nothing made sense at that point of time, I believe that all of that chaos and chaos that still goes through is exactly shaping me into somebody stronger, somebody wiser, somebody better, somebody I maybe cannot fully comprehend yet. Because nobody is going to spoon fed you a better life. You are the creator of your own life. And the more you expect people to fix things for you, the more disappointed you are going to be. Please understand that your content, your happiness, your mood should not and cannot be dependent upon an external factor, especially somebody else, right? Because then what happens is, okay, yeah, you're relying on somebody for your happiness, for your comfort, for your safety. Then what if that person is not there anymore? Then what will you do? It is as simple as that. So the more you will expect others to fix things for you, the more disappointed you are going to be. And it is so important, especially if you're a woman, so important to have this unwavering self belief, wherein even if the entire world stands up against you, you are still standing with yourself. You are still holding on to that decision of yours that you made. Because the moment you start loving yourself unapologetically, the moment you start becoming the brightest person, people will get uncomfortable. And that is human nature. Sometimes people don't even know that they are pulling it down on purpose. More like, why would they want to lose their friend or partner, right? Because, frankly speaking, you are going to outgrow people who won't align with you or your state of being. So now, two options are left. Either they will try to match your frequency or they will pull you down to theirs. And in most cases, the latter is true, because not everybody is going to celebrate your success, not everybody is going to like that version of you that no longer tolerates disrespect. And that is exactly why you need to be so rooted in yourself that no external opinion can shake you. And also, one very, very important thing, especially for women, if you start seeing early signs of disrespect, manipulation, or misalignment, do not ignore them. Please do not ignore them. Do not romanticize them. Do not try to fix them, because in a longer run, those things are going to turn into bigger issues. And then the repair that you will have to go through is not going to be easy. And the craziest part is that sometimes it's not even what somebody else did to you, but it is what you allowed. Because if I speak about myself, there is still a part of me that feels anger for the way that I treated myself back then, for the way that I stayed silent, or for the way that I could not stand up for myself when I needed myself the most. But at the same time, now I'm also grateful that I chose to recognize whatever was happening and I chose to walk away. when I needed to, and I chose myself even when it was the hardest thing to do. Because the thing is, you will have to walk away from anything and everything that makes you feel like you're not enough. And it does not matter who that is. It could be a friend, it could be a partner, it could be a family, anyone. If it makes you feel small, it does not belong in your life. It is as simple as that. Because the thing is, anyone can either push you towards your worst self or your best self. And what you choose to do with that experience is your choice. You can let it destroy you, or you can let it transmute you into becoming something more powerful. And I'm telling you this from experience. When you hit rock bottom, it feels like the end. Like nothing can go beyond this anymore. It legit feels as if nothing will get better. It feels as if you are stuck in a place from where you can never escape. But at the same time, if even during this kind of situation, you can still hold on, you can still choose yourself, if you can love yourself through it all, then trust me, I promise you, you are going to meet a version of you who is so loved and who is so respected that you can't even imagine. It's crazy. And everything else is just conditional. And it's not even a bad thing, it's just reality. So instead of chasing people, instead of hoping somebody will choose you, become someone you can come home to. Become somebody you are proud of. Become the person you needed when you were at your lowest. It's because I have been there. I have seen what it feels like to rebuild yourself from the scratch, from nothing. And sometimes all it takes is just one simple realization that the only person you were waiting all along has always been you. And with that, I will see you in the next video.